Pump up the jam. Pump it up.
Oh my god. The the the, the podcast just started and the first thing I hear is some 90s Awa. Yeah.
Kiss
But
booty on the bottom line. Make my day.
make my day, peoples. But you know what? I have nothing to contribute tonight. That's just all I'm saying. This is the midnight podcast, by the way. This
Yo,
is
gaming off to midnight.
gaming after midnight. Um, and we just wanted to talk about a couple things. I mean, basically, this is just something that's been going on. I mean, it's been going on for a long time,
Years, man.
and it's just been exposed right now. But people just don't understand.
No, because we got a whole new generation of people who, and it's you wouldn't think so, but
Yeah.
people like you and I are rare.
Rare.
We have been paying attention to games for nigh 20 years.
I know.
Everyone else is freaking new, man.
Yeah. Well, everybody else is coming from that iPhone casual experience, and that's where they're no.
Net games.
And it's like the sons of Call of Duty, because that's where they're coming from. They're coming from playing. That's all they know from they were like since they were 5. Like my nephew, all he does is play Call of Duty, and he's 12 now. And when he started playing Call of Duty, he was maybe like 4 or 5.
Jam.
So yeah, they start early in the hood. So it's like you don't know nothing about games. You just don't. And then they're the same type of people that jump on the blogs and they bash Sony
Exactly. Yeah, and mostly Sony for whatever reason.
for whatever
But
reason. I don't.
but it's terrible because the current situation is the Order 1886. So and if you've been paying attention to anything, everybody knows everybody's been hating on this game since probably about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now the game releases in about 3 hours.
Yeah. 3 hours from now, it's
It
gonna
releases
be
in
released.
3 hours, and they've been hating on it for 2 weeks, and
This
it's
is ridiculous.
very interesting. But it comes from one, like we were mentioning, people being so new to gaming that they have absolutely no idea how the industry works,
Yeah.
how genres are defined, and how anything that's not an annualized Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed works, because that's all they're used to playing. And then, oh, now you're throwing something that's not what I'm used to. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So I must hate it.
Yeah. I don't understand these games. I don't understand this storylines. I don't understand. I just want to shoot something. You know. It's like
Exactly. It's like,
I-
oh,
I just-
your story is getting in the way of me shooting things and blowing stuff up.
yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, you with your real life riveting characters.
I know. Look, I'm gonna say something. I am not. As of late, I have stopped with the PlayStation brand. Like that, I am no longer associating myself just 100% with PlayStation. I've grown into other things because just because I like them, and I naturally like them. And it's mostly due to nostalgia. I mean, I picked up a 3DS. I know you want to kill me for that, but, and I know you probably think, man, this guy's crazy, but I did. I picked up a 3DS. I picked up like 6 games, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I think I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna say this: I'm enjoying it better than my Vita. And
That's
and I
another
know
podcast.
I know this is another story. But what I'm trying to set up is that I am not on the side like 100% Sony, 100% PlayStation. Like I am on the side of just pure natural old school video gaming. And when it boils down to it, for me personally, I think that you gotta have everything in a game in order for it to be truly successful. You have to have story, you have to have gameplay, you have to have good graphics, you have to have great acting. Now, like the Order, it's hard to do. See, it's hard to like. I read this, which is a little bit of what you were talking about earlier to me. And like one of these articles that I looked at, you gotta have. I mean, it's hard to have awesome gameplay, like a Call of Duty, which is like nonstop action. It's hard to mix that in with great storytelling because it's like, you can't have it all, but it's like we're conditioned that we're supposed to have it all, but we can't in a game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
It just
it's
can't happen.
not. Yeah, it's not conducive to if you're going to if you're going to have a story paced the way, let's say, like the TV show Gotham
Yeah,
is. Well, okay, well then you're gonna have large sections of story because for story pacing, you can't have, okay, well, we're about to hit this really important, plot twist, but we because it's been 20 minutes, we've got to have like a 40-minute section of gameplay. So we're
yeah,
just gonna send you in this random building to walk around and look for some stuff, and then we're gonna send you to this plot twist. It's like, well, if you're gonna do story, then you can't do that. You're
yeah,
gonna have to temper the gameplay here and there. But here is the thing is that there are all these opinions and all these, well, people are stating so much stuff as fact, and the game isn't out yet.
yeah.
Reviews only came out this morning.
I know.
But nevertheless, this game has been receiving hate for at least 2 weeks.
Right.
And
Yeah,
well, of
but see,
course, now that people are complaining about, well,
right.
why is the reviews only coming out now? And I'm gonna tell you the truth without Levin.
The truth. Preach it.
When when a publisher, particularly the publisher, when a publisher has faith in their game being revolutionary, they have no fears about releasing the review embargo early. When they know it's going to be divisive, or that they know that or a game's not going to review well, and let me state again that there is a difference between a game being good and a game not reviewing well,
Mhm.
because these jokers, there's certain games that you just know the reviewers are gonna, oh well, this is this and this is that and blah blah blah, and then when you actually play the game's fine.
Yeah.
So there are games that just do not review well but are good games otherwise. I remember how much crap people talked about Infamous One, and that, oh, there's a whole section where you just get so boring and repetitive and blah blah blah. And Biotechzilla can attest to this mess, that game is awesome.
Look, okay, I had my prejudice against it simply because I had one bad experience, and I believe wholeheartedly that this is the same issue that the reviewers had, because there is one section, there's one part in the very beginning that kind of gets you lost when you're looking for dead drops, but they don't tell you that the dead drop thing is like, you know, throughout the entire game. It's kind of like a bonus thing. You have to, for me, I thought the dead drops you had to do it in one mission. And
Oh,
that,
whoa,
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, I know. And that's when because I'm like, where's the next dead drop? Where's the next dead drop? And I didn't, instead of going to the waypoint where I was supposed to go, the blue arrow, I was trying to find dead drops. And then I'm like, this is going to take forever. And I stopped playing. And that's why I hated Infamous for like a year or two. And then afterwards, you were talking to me, and you were saying, I remember we were even talking on a podcast, and you're like, yeah, you should play it, man. I said, okay, I'm gonna give it a fair shot. But it's true, like you just bring up a point about that they look at certain games, and certain games get like this high seat, you know, it's like they get valued and they get viewed differently than other games, and it's really not fair at
No,
all.
it's not. It's like, take for example, another game. One of the major complaints about the Order that's going around is that it's too short. People are saying like 7 hours or something like that. Well, guess what?
What?
Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance, which was
I
which
know.
was such a terrible mess.
Ugh, the last boss was hilariously laughable.
Most of the dialogue was hilariously
Ugh,
laughable,
it's just
but the game
retarded.
is the game can be cleared in 4 hours,
Yeah.
and there's no multiplayer.
And what about
But that
uh
game gets a 9.2.
I know. Or didn't that the Metal Gear Ground Zeroes, which was like just like
Oh
a
yeah.
supposedly a
Oh
tech
god.
demo?
Well, the only thing about Ground Zeroes is that it's open world, so you can just kind of go around and you can waste time, going here and going there and doing
Yeah.
other stuff. So that will translate into reviewers calling it, saying it has replay value.
Well, wait a
But
minute. Call of Duty single player was like only 2 hours.
yeah, it's about 3 hours, yeah.
Three to two
But it's
hours.
got multiplayer, you see.
Oh yeah,
So
it's a multiplayer. Yeah, this this whole thing. It just it thinks it thinks on its own. It's like you can't put an idea out there because it has its own thinking, and once you talk to people online, and once you go on blogs, you'll notice that, like, if you're a person who goes by the old school, loves like great gaming, loves great stories, like just doesn't really care and is open minded, you got to be really strong to last long with your opinion intact, because online there's like it's like a hive mentality,
It
and
is.
if you're not part of the group, you'll get bashed, you'll get banned, you'll get censored, they'll block you. It's horrible. It's just something out of
Yeah, I
a
mean,
freaking
the
story.
internet. Yeah, the internet is not a place to be a person anymore. It's a
Yeah,
place to be a robot and just go along quietly, or just be a complete, observer and never interact.
it's horrible.
Because 9 times out of 10, if you interact with anybody online, it's going to be a negative experience.
It is. It is. And the thing about the media, the gaming media, I believe right now, it's it's like a really bad time to be part of those
Oh, it's a
organizations.
horrible time.
You
Like,
know.
they don't want to say it, but there's a reason why just about every single person working at IGN was not working there 2 years ago.
Yeah.
There's a reason why all of those original people, if you're, especially if you're like us from the old days, and you remember
Yeah.
back when they had the PS2 channel,
Jeez.
all of those original people are gone.
Gone. Yep.
And
And
there's
you
a
know what?
reason why they did not stay.
And we prey on the ghost of Jim Sterling because
That Joker,
the Joker lived.
that Joker's got he's got like residual
If you guys,
gravity.
I know, right? If you guys, he has his own gravity. If you
Like he
guys,
leaves, he's like the measles. He leaves the room and you can still feel him there 2 hours later.
I know, right? He, it's like he leaves black holes wherever he steps. He's just so massive. He's just so dense. But
But never right. He's at the point he used to do the reviews at Destructoid, and it was a
Right.
different site then.
right, it was a different site then. But you know what made him leave? And I believe what made him leave was the fact that they were making him hype up a game that he really wasn't interested in, or he really didn't believe in. And he felt, to me, it kind of like looked like his last review, he was going off on his employer. If you remember that.
What was his last review?
I
It's
think
been
his
so long.
his yeah, it's been long. I think it was like Super Monkey Balls, just the
That
sequel.
long?
It's-
Well, clearly they were just punishing him because who would ever assign anybody to review that crap?
yeah, I don't know.
It's
I
like
don't know
who's
what
like
he was.
seriously, who wants to review Super Monkey Ball? Nobody.
I don't know. But it was the sequel, Balls. But like
With the Z.
Dragon Ball Z. But I just got disgusted with all that stuff because like Richard George. I'm gonna bring that name back up from my GN. When
I don't even see him there anymore, so he probably don't work there no more.
I know when he reviewed Kid Icarus Uprising, which
Oh,
I
God.
finally got to play
Hmm.
as a Nintendo fan. I finally got to play it, and my wrist, my left hand is like it's on fire. It literally is on fire because you have to multitask with your joints nonetheless to play this game, and it's hard to challenge, and I mean it's hard to master. And they say it's a challenging game and all this stuff, but I think the controls are just broken. And
Yeah,
Richard,
it's funny. It's when a game they like has bad controls, it's challenging. When a game
right,
they don't like has bad controls, it has bad controls.
exactly. And Richard George was the one who he said that it was Sakurai's vision and all this stuff, and he was just like bobbing up and down on Mario's giant inflatables, and it was just horrible. It was horrible how disgusting and how like just it was just like he was just like petitioning for something to happen in his rectum.
It's absolutely. I mean, it's like yeah, it's just like and it's maddening. Please go back and read that review
Yeah.
because if you know anything about that game, you're like like if you listen to the review, the video, it's so positive. But if you listen to the actual words, he is telling you the flaws the game
Yeah.
has.
Yeah,
But
go,
like he puts a positive spin on it, and it's
yeah,
fine.
a positive spin on every single paragraph, but every paragraph contained 2 or 3 errors that the game committed. But the thing is that I mean, with 30 seconds to go, we have plenty, plenty to talk about the order when it comes out,
Which will
and
be in a few hours. Which
yeah,
I'll have some videos up as soon as possible. So yeah.
ASAP. So this might be an eye opener to everyone, and we just had absolutely nothing to say this whole podcast.